Are we already stuck? I'm already stuck. The heck? Damn. StreamYards. Good morning, everyone. How are you? Who do we have here so far? Uh, Bobby. Thank you so much. I will give an update on the kittens. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you, thank you. Tater. Good morning. Ocean Tide. Of course, we have Mr. Causey here. Jenny, you made it. Good morning. Happy Caturday. Did I see Rayleigh? Did I see that Rayleigh? I did see that Rayleigh point. Good morning, Rayleigh. I hope you're feeling better. Doing all kinds of things with those babies. We're in pajamas today. I got my pajamas on. I just told Mr. Causey I want more. I was never a t-shirt, like a matchy pajama person with the t-shirts and the Samantha, 24 months. 2 whole years. Holy smokes. I know you like to lurk. Not creepy. Um yeah, I was never like like a matchy pajama person, but I am. It's like they're ocean. I'm sorry, ocean, there's no octopus on them though. But they have a little ocean. They got a little sailboat, anchors, shells, lobster, crab, buoys, lifesavers. What else has it got on here? Crabs, seahorse, bikes. I love it. I swear I love them. They're at Walmart for $12. Go get them. They're so soft. I said I told him this morning, I said we gotta go. I want 2 more pair. Because the robes in the back are too big. They get all over. So we gotta get rid of the robes too. 2 of them I can keep. They were a little snug when we were in the big sizes. I put all of my clothes together, all of my like I think there's probably 40 pair of pants. There's probably 40 pair of pants. I have a huge long bag. I told Mr. Kazi there's probably 70 pounds of clothes that we have to donate. So all the clothes are packed up, the closet is clean, and it's ready to be filled, but not, oh my gosh, Bobby, 27 months. Holy smokes. I told Mr. Kazi, I said, we're not going to fill it up fast, but it did need some things. So I got a couple of pair of like little jeans. Like, and by little, I mean like small pricing. So we're good like that. You guys, thank you, Bubs. We have a short week coming up because we're doing a staycation. I think I told you guys all of this. We are doing a staycation and we're going to go tour the Philadelphia not Convention Center, Constitution Center. Remember I told you I put all your names out on the Constitution? That we're going to do. And we're doing the Liberty Bell. And then who the hell knows what else? We'll figure it out. But thank you, Allie. And then after this, I'm not doing the cooking. I got the shopping done, but we're not doing the cooking. Me and Mr. Kazi, he's released to go back to the gym. So he and I are going to the gym. We're going to go together. So I'm excited about that. He's got to do he's got to slowly go into it. So he said he's going to do the bike. I said, okay, do the bike. Good morning, Nico. Just waiting for everybody to come in to let everybody know. The kittens, Jack sneezes every once in a while. Coco's always sneezed, but I think she has like allergies, and she only sneezes if she goes into the closet because she goes in there and she rolls around and everything like that. So that's very, very rare. Does she do that? Harley's still a little tiny bit congested, but I can hear her purring now. She's purring. So everybody is on the mend, thankfully. Um, I got We didn't I have to do their medicine this morning. So they still have a little bit of an antibiotic to take, and then they have their appointment, I believe, next is it next to it's next week sometime. I think it's next week that they're gonna come out and make sure that everything's good. Like, check their breathing and stuff like that. But thank you all for asking. That was a very stressful week and a half. That was extremely stressful. I was very, very, very Harley had me scared. I thought I was saying goodbye to Harley. I actually thought that we were going and we were going to say goodbye. That's how bad it was. Oh, I cried and cried and cried. Ma bibis. I always have to do the math. So I got Coco. So Coco's 13, Harley's 11, and Jack is 9. I really thought I was saying goodbye to Harley. She's always been like my high maintenance cat. And I thought, oh, geez, oh man, the little baby's going to go first. But we didn't lose her. She's still here. I don't know where the hell she is, but she's good. Yeah, they're just they're little heartbreakers because you never know what the hell's wrong with them. And then when they're blowing bubbles out of their nose, it's like, what the frig is that? And I have to give kudos to Mr. Kazi because he really pays attention to everything. I'm so glad too, Jenny. He really pays attention to everything. So when he saw her like breathing through her mouth, I would have never known because that morning I woke up, I gave her cuddles, and then I moved on. I didn't see any signs. And when he told me, I was like, holy smokes. So he definitely deserves all round of applause because he keeps his eye on all of them. He's like the breakfast guy. He feeds them in the morning because he's been home. So he's like he's always the first one up. So he feeds them. He's the breakfast. He's the breakfast server. Thank you. So we got that taken care of. Oh, that was stressful. That you guys know, most of you have animals, like they're your babies. So, I have to see something. Mr. Kazi told me to tell everyone. I don't know why I'm always typing in caps. That's because I type in caps at work. I'm yelling at everybody through the appointments. Hold on. I'm putting something in here. And baby, you can do that. So Mr. Kazi, it's the travel channel. Mr. Kazi has a video already prepared and it's going to launch this week. So he wanted me to tell everybody that you can go and subscribe, and we'll have a video for this week coming up. There's just like a little flag video that he took as, I think was it at the Independence Hall, the flag that's at the down Philly. I don't know. He took like footage a long time ago of just a flag flying, and he posted that on Flag Day. So that's just something like, silly. So good morning, Jarella. We have a video that we have in the can ready to roll out, so you'll see that, and then we're going to go and do our trips, and we'll he's going to record and edit stuff like that. So he's got things in mind. It's not going to be a channel that we roll out something all the time because it's traveling, and well, I mean, our gas did go down a few cents, but you know how it goes. Drops this week, and it's really good. He let me look at it. It's really good. Now listen, thank you, Jenny. Thank you. So let's get this YouTube nonsense out of the way, okay? Because I was mentioned again over there on the Gigi's channel. And that's just from Olivia. And we know Olivia loves us over here, right? So she's having, she just gave her opinion on what's going on. And we're just not going to talk about who she's talking about, but I think you all know. But Olivia just gave her opinion because she stepped away from a community as well. And, she mentioned to me and stuff like that. And they all said, well, they saw it coming. They saw the fallout coming with me. I didn't, because when you're involved in a situation and you're involved in, you think you're like online friends, whatever. You don't see it when you're in it, right? Now that I'm stepped back, I was like, I don't know who the hell that person is. Okay. So I have the same opinions. Um, it was all good. She didn't like nobody trashed me or whatever. And I watched it, and everybody in the chat was very nice, and they all said that, like, I'm a sweetheart and that I'm non-dramatic, because that's how we are over here. We don't do the dramas. So it was nice to see like nice like things being said about you. So just in case anybody says, "Oh, you were talked about," it was all good. It's Olivia. Or Olivia in London was over there. So I said, "Oh," and she did a good job. She like cammed up and everything like that. She gave like it was funny because when she cammed up, I watch her on TikTok. So I know like what she looks like and everything like that. She's not someone that doesn't, cam up. Um, she was on Gigi's panel. And so she when she cammed up, she had on like her hat. I forget what kind of hat they're called. It's not a beret. I don't think it's a beret, but it kind of looked like that. I know it's called something. But she had that on and she had her glasses on and just looks like, Olivia, beautiful as can be, right? So when she came when she came up, hi Ozzy. When she came up, everybody was like, and they were saying it in a chat, she was giving DC vibes. So if you know who DC Media Girl is, it kind of did give you like a DC vibe. And it was funny. So, I mean, she looked great and she was giving off the DC vibes. So, and they were saying, talking, use an American accent and then like say something that DC would say. So, I always think Kimmy when someone says Roz with the thumb sucker, fist sucker. So I am aware that that was being talked to. I know. Jarella, do you know that I like this week for some reason she's just been on my heart, and I started watching some of her old stuff on the YouTubes. She's over there on the Rumbles too. So like, if you ever get like a little, you need a little DC dragging because she was good at dragging. She was good at dragging. She's very articulate. She's real good at it. So I watched a couple of her old I think her very last live I listened to, and you can tell that she was like not she was just not feeling good at all. So you know, I was watching that because I really did. I watched her. I was when I first got in the girl world, I watched her. I was like, and then she got like when she got involved with like the nags, I kind of like backed off. I was like, this isn't good. You know how that goes. So anyway, I know that I was spoken on, and I have no problem with that because I have no problem with anybody over there. In fact, I miss. You know who I miss? I miss Dusty. I miss Dusty. Right. And I still say that I think Dusty was Kimikaze's turkey. That's the hill I'm gonna die on. He says no, I say yes, and I don't care because we loved Kimikaze's turkey when they came in because they just razzed me, and that was that. I listened to her last Kershedder's channel, and then she was gone. I know, so did I. So did I. Um, I was like, well, me and April were really hoping because it was like right around when Wicket was coming out, and you know how she was like all into the Wicket. We were really pulling for her so that she could see Wicket before she moved along. But yeah, DC Media, yeah, she passed in October, I believe. Yeah, she passed. So we were hoping that she got a chance to see the Wicket, but she didn't. We got word that she passed before that. So anyway, last year we lost a lot of the tubers. Marty, Cobes, Dark Roses, uh Linda Sinicant, and DC. There's been I don't know, there's probably others that we don't know of, right? Yeah, Ozzy. Yeah, this in October, somewhere around there. Whenever Wicket was coming out, the Wicket 2, the movie, that was right around when she didn't stay long enough to see the second movie come out. I know, Jarella. Poor Val. Val was a very sick woman. She was. And she started to get real dark there for a minute. But did I tell this story? I feel like I told this story already. When we first, oh, maybe I was talking to April about it. When we had the EG Discord for the fallen Beezers. Um, that's when I met her because I don't know how the girls, like, my New York girls found her, but they're like, "You gotta go over, it's a sin, she just started her channel," and that's when she first started, and she was in like, that apartment with that dude, and she'd just be sitting in the rocking chair for hours and talking, like, nonsense, and then she moved into the house, and, that's when all hell broke loose. But I fought the worst of her trolls on sock accounts and tried to talk her down from being afraid. Jarella. Unfortunately, I do my snooping and like, I just, you never know where I'm going to be. I know exactly who the trolls were, and unfortunately, they were a lot of Marty trolls, and they would coordinate who was going to be who. It was terrible. I hated every second of it. And then I'd go over there and I'd watch. But she pissed me off with the guy in with the daughter. Like that pissed me off. I was like, I can't do this anymore. It was awful. Yes, they absolutely did. And they're like, and it just I just know who's who, and I'm like, I'll tell like some people, I'm like, just stay away from that person because I know who they are. I'm no longer in those discords. I would just will go in and I'd be like, all right, I see what's going on, and I get the hell out because I'm like, I don't need all this nonsense. All right. I like my field is crazy enough. I go to work and I'm full of crazy. I'm full of stories. I'm full of stories. Yeah, that was wrong. That was bad. And then this purple glitter's coming back, and she's not supposed to be on the internet at all. And she changed her name, and she's like, she's getting involved in things that she should not be getting involved in. I'm like, what in the world's going on? But see, here's the thing: this YouTube stuff I got to keep up on because I can't at my job anymore. I can't. I can't do it. It's like, Jarell is awesome. Jarell is awesome. She, oh, when I have like I'm back to doing my therapies a little bit more frequently because we all know how my job is, right? And I just need tune-ups. So like every 2, 3 weeks I touch base with my therapist. And it's to the point now where the therapist is excited for my visit because she can't wait to hear the story of my job. So, and I told her, I said, you know what? I said, I don't know if me or you is going to wind up writing that book, but if it's you and you start using my stories, I better get a cut. And we just laugh. But she does talk. She does give me advice, and it's not just all about like a gab session. Like Roz wants, right? Big Roz over there. She wants someone that's just gonna pat her ass and tell her that she's okay. Um, I actually am like reminded of you got to use your tools. Okay, you went through the DBT course, so we need to use tools because I need to. I got them. I got the acronyms taped to my computer. And then my boss is like, Why does it say stop? Like, are you stopping working?" And I was like, "No." And so I told him what it meant. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he asked me, he's like, "Can you remind me how to do that?" And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Because we both need it. Anyway, we all know that my job's crazy, right? And there for a minute when he did the addendum and we were like thinking like he's taking money away from me and all this stuff. He didn't do that. Remember, we went back to work and he was like, just rip it up. And I was like, well, I wasn't signing it anyway. So we talked about that this week, and he's like, "You have no idea how much respect you earned that when you told me to that you weren't signing it." And I was like, "Whatever." Listen, my husband's like, "I don't understand why you go to work for this man. I have no idea. He's like, he's bad." For some reason in my heart, I just feel like this is where I'm supposed to be, even though I am beat up often. I just feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. And here's why. For the last few weeks, he has been asking me about Jesus. He's been asking me about, like, what Christianity's about. And I just, like, it makes me feel good that he wants to learn because I want to learn about other religions, right? I want to know what other faiths believe, because it's free will. We're allowed to believe whatever we want. So I want to know about him. So we have this open communication where he's asking me and then I can ask him questions. And you might just be needed there. Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. God knows my story. We know this. God already knows where I'm going to be dying. So, right. So I just feel like this week in particular, he he called me in the office and he's like, "Well, all right, here's what happened. Wednesday, I was so freaking mad, I couldn't see straight. I was all by myself because the guy, right, we call him Captain Chaos. I don't care if that sounds bad or not. He just causes chaos. Everything he does, I got to go behind him. I got to do my job and then, like, make sure he did his. And then he's always got it wrong. So I got to do his job too. I was so mad. He wasn't in because he was emotional. He called out because he was emotional. To be fair, he is here. All of his family is in India. His wife is there, his best friend. His daughter's over there, and she's got health problems, and his dad is elderly, and he has health problems. So I understand that I don't understand. Let me put it that way. I don't understand because I have my husband downstairs in the dining room, right? So I can't understand how that must feel to be going through all of this and then your family is so far away. So when he called out, but he said he was emotional, I was just like, I'm emotional every day. However, I understand. So Wednesday, by myself, and I have high maintenance doc, and I'm just like, this woman, she said, we all know. We all know. I told my boss, your picker's off. Like, I don't need you to be picking these people anymore. He should do the hiring, right? He should do the hiring. Canine! 28 months. You, Tater, and Ocean are up there. And I think Jarrell is up there too. Jarrell has been with me since the beginning, like Tater. I miss so many Caturdays. What religion is your boss? My boss is Muslim, right? But I don't think the way he talks, like he's like a Catholic that only goes to church on Christmas Eve and Sunday, right? So he told me this quote, I only have to show face in the mosque every once in a while. I'm like, what? You're supposed to go all the time. Anyway, 6 months. Jarella finally let the cat out of the bag. 22 months. Oh, that's still, hey, look, you're still there. I love you guys for being here. So that's what he tells me. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then like he's just funny. He doesn't follow the rules. He's not strict, right? He's supposed to be, but he's not. So anyway, on Wednesday, I had a meltdown. I told everybody, get in the lunchroom now. Like we were in the middle of seeing patient. And I pulled everybody out. And my two assistants were like they've never seen that side of me. And I was like, I demand kindness today. And they're like looking at me and I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. You have to be kind. And I'm not just talking to me, I'm talking about everyone. I went off on a little tangent. Okay. I had a little mini meltdown. I understand. I'm not supposed to do that because I'm the boss. But there, I hit my boiling point and I was mad. Do you know that doctor came out and told me, shh, I'm with a patient? I looked her dead in the face and I said, I want kindness. And she just looked at me. And she was nice to me the rest of the day. So I called the boss because he was in the vicinity. He was just out doing whatever he does. I called him. I said, I just had a meltdown. I am in we have like another building next to us. Like it's attached to our office. We can use it. Like, well, we go in there to have meetings. We're not there's nothing in there. So I was in there and it's like wide open. It used to be an ortho office. It's wide open. They took the walls down, they took the chairs out. So it's just an open, office space. I was doing laps. I was doing laps. So he's like, I'll be right in. So I saw him out the window running into the office and he calls me. He's like, Where are you? He goes, Are you in B? And I said, Yeah. So he comes in and I'm walking like a crazy person around the whole thing. I said, I'm getting my steps in and I'm calm down. He's like, All right. And so he stops walking with me. He's like, Are you sure you're okay? I said, I am pissed. So he's like, he's like, Are you okay? Just sit down, let's talk. So I sat down and I was like, I was like, I'm fine. I'm tired of everybody being nasty. Like I come in with a positive attitude all the time. I sit there and I am completely over, like, I burn myself out every day because I'm nice to these people who aren't nice to me. Why can we not pretend to be nice? And he's like, I know. He asked me, he's like, and then we got into the conversation. We were talking about business and everything like that. It was completely calm. It was like way later. And he's like, Can I ask you a question? And I was like, Yeah. He's like, Can we say a prayer? And I'm like, What do you mean say a prayer? Because he keeps asking me like what my religion is. I said, I don't have a religion. I have a relationship. So he's like, I demand kindness. uh I See, I was demanding kindness, being nasty. It was hilarious. It was like it was complete. Like they're probably thinking like this person's crazy, but I don't care. I was friggin' mad. So he's like asking me to pray, and I'm like, I said, what kind of prayer do you want? And he's like, I don't know. Don't you guys have a prayer? And I was like, Are you talking about like the Our Father? And he's like, Yeah, I think so. And I was like, Well, yeah, I mean, like, we say that, but that's more like, Catholic thing. So anyway, he's like, Can we please pray? And I was like, Fine. I was like, Are you sure you're ready for this? I just talk. Like I just call on God and then I just say, like, I was like, You see what's going on? We're crazy right now. You know what I mean? Like you just talk. And he's looking at me like, Okay. I said, That's it. And he's like, Really? I said, Yeah, you just talk. So anyway, he's been asking me. He's like 28 years old. And I don't think, like, I think he's figuring himself out, right? So I don't know. That's what we're talking about at work now. Jersey, you made it! Happy Caturday! I demand kindness. I was a crazy lunatic. And then like I make sure that I buy them snacks, right? I gotta go on there on the webs or Amazon. I like ran out of credit card paper, right? So I gotta get credit card paper. And they told me we need tissues. I'm like, all right. So then I go down to snacks and I get the snacks. I know the one doctor likes Rice Krispie treats. So I make sure that they're stocked for him, right? And then I'll get like some sort of cracker and then like some sort of candy. And so I made sure that it does say a lot, right? So I made sure that, like, I got snacks. So the snacks came in Wednesday. So you'd think that they would be a little bit happy. Anyway, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna buy you snacks again. But then I'm not vindictive. They're gonna get snacks. So after I had my meltdown and I had my talk with the boss, I was in the back and we all had like a little congregation, me and the assistants and the boss. So I walked away from that little meeting. I went and I got myself they're little tiny Rice Krispie treats and chocolate vanilla, chocolate regular and strawberry came in it. And I was like, let me try one of them strawberry ones. So I came back to the meeting eating Rice Krispie and he's looking at me like, What are you doing? I'm like, Whatever. I said, I had a meltdown. Now I'm having a sweet. There's that. I usually match energy, except at the dentist. He's going to put some barrels like now. Well, these are the people I'm working with. So anyway, that's what's going on. And we have other issues. Like, I just don't know what the hell's going on. And I feel bad because he is 28. And I told him that your picker's off. You're picking the wrong people. He's picking these guys, dentists that are coming out of school. They want to get some experience. They don't, they set themselves, they want to make, $100,000 a month. You're not doing that. It's not happening. I want the entire office as a collective to make that. You personally want to hit that goal. If you can, thank you, because then I get bonuses, right? So they just, they're blowing smoke up his ass. and he's blowing smoke up their ass, and then I'm the one on the floor that has to deal with all of this, like, the nitpicking, well, I don't have this and I didn't get this, because you're the one that fibbed in the interview. He fibbed in the interview, and now I'm the one that has to make the truth be seen. Okay? You're all on my nerves. Anyway, and I told him, I said, I'm still going to get up in the morning and go. I'm still going to wake up and I'm still going to show up. All right? Because I need a job. But I feel like I'm being called there. I do. I feel like I'm being called there. I got to be there for the patients and for him because he's, things are tight right now. But I do believe, I do believe that things will turn around if he just listens to me. So now back to Captain Chaos. Have you ever been around someone that's just completely noisy? Like everything they do is noisy. He picks up a piece of paper and it sounds like an airplane's like landing. He rolls around on the chair on hardwood floors. He ripped the floors up. Like there's literally rolling. Like the floor is like banged up. I got to get the floor fixed. He slams the drawers. I told him, I said, if you don't sit down and be quiet, I feel like he's my kid. And then he keeps telling me, he's like, I think my age is making me not remember. I said, you write it down. Every time I tell you something, you're writing something down. I can't help that you can't read your own handwriting. I was like, like, come on. And I'm older than you. He does sound like a rock. Oh my, now I'm never going to unsee it, Ozzy. I'm never going to unsee that now. He's such a nice man, too. Like, he really is a nice man, but he's nothing but chaos. And it like rattles me because I'm paying like everything when you have, and I don't know if I have ADHD. I might be undiagnosed like our Ross. I do have bipolar though, right? And I do get overstimulated with noises. Sometimes like Mr. Kazi will be talking to me like a normal man, like a normal human being. And I'm like, shh. And he's got to whisper to me because things are too loud. I know exactly when the TV is above 11. And I think sometimes he tests me and I'm like, that's above 11. So his loudness, by the end of the day, my nerves are on my nerves. Loud people. Ozzy, I'm telling you, it is awful. I've prayed with Kishan and goes, all prayer is peaceful and grounding. It is. Get off the floor, stand up. On top of the dog barks. He just, okay. So his story is he's a dentist from India, right? So he has clinical background. He is a doctor. He's a doctor from a different country. America has extremely strict, like we have to, like the ADA is extremely strict. And then we have HIPAA and OSHA. We have to follow all of these things that he's not used to. So we're training him in that way. And he just wants to come in and do extractions. You can't. You're not licensed here. Like, if you want to get your license, he's going to have to go through all of the schooling. He, like, all of that he learned in his country, he has to relearn here. So it's difficult for him, right? And I don't think he's going to be here. Like, I don't think he's going to make this his forever home. So I'm teaching him, like, they put him at the front desk. The poor guy has to learn the paperwork. And they don't understand how hard the front desk is. Now he's getting it. He's like, I don't know how you guys do this. I said, I know. I know. I said, so I need you to I need to know that you can do this so that I can concentrate on this. He's just like, to help with the door, you should chair leg pads in the corner. Oh, that's a good idea. Tried noise gadgets? My shrink had them all over. What the hell's a noise gadget? What's a noise gadget? What's Jenny saying? Where'd she say? I work with a guy who acts like he'll die if he's not making. I mean, I would imagine, like, I'm not a mom for, humans. I would imagine it would be like, having 5 little humans running around. That's how it is. And he's constantly getting up, and this drives me nuts. He gets, like, little cups when you go in the dentist, and they have the little Listerine in it, and they tell you to rinse out, blah, blah, blah. He goes and gets those for water. So he's constantly going to get water. He knows, "I gotta get a drink." Not only does he do that, but all of his cups are left all over his desk. I had to tell him, I said, "You need to clean that shit up. I said, "Get a water bottle. I don't need this anymore. Get a bigger water bottle and stop with the cups all over." They're everywhere. They're everywhere. He's like a child. It's smelling around makes, oh no, that would probably drive me nuts. I just need people to be aware of their surroundings. It's self-awareness for me, you know? It's self-awareness. Because I don't have an inside voice. I don't have an inside voice. And then what's funny, I was taught this. I had to be told this. I used to work for a doctor who was Persian, right? And he and I had, like, the best relationship. We would joke with one another. We had the best relationship. If he didn't do what he did, then probably still be working for him. But we had a very large um, p- uh, um Turkish population of patients, right? So they would come in, and, like, they had, their dialect, and like, I couldn't understand some of the things. I'd be like, "What was that?" So when they would call on the phone, the men are loud. No offense, no tea, no shade, like, with peace and love, Turkish men are loud. So I'm like, and like, some of them were hard to like understand. So I would get loud, and the doctor came to me, and he would call me Kimberly. He's like, "Kimberly," and I'm like, "What, doc?" He's like, "Just because you get louder doesn't mean that they're going to understand you." And I laughed because, you know what? That's true. Why am I raising my voice to make myself be understood? I said, "That's true." So I learned a very good lesson on that. So that's what he's doing. And I told him, I said, "Just because you're loud doesn't mean that they're going to understand you. Okay? Let's keep it to a double roar. Zip it. Because you're rolling around, you're yelling, and you're like, like, your papers are like in a paper mill. Like, you even write loud. Okay? Let's take everything down." And he's like, "But they don't understand me." I'm like, "Because you talk too fast. Just relax. Everything's okay. Stop doing Oh, Olivia, we were just talking about you in the morning. We're in the beginning. I was talking to you. I saw you over there. I was gonna inbox you. You did a great job. And thank you for saying that I was a sweetheart. And everybody in the chat agreed. So thank you for that. That was very kind." So back to this guy. Unfortunately, well, no, fortunately for me, my girl left. I hired a girl. She starts on the 29th. So I figured, let me start you on the 29th, because I'm going to be out on that Thursday and Friday, and I can't leave you with the boys. I can't leave that girl with the boys because she won't show up for me on Monday. Okay. So, anyway, now, he told me yesterday, we have to cut, so he is going to cut him because he just hasn't gotten it. It's been a couple of months and he just hasn't gotten it, and he's got a lot going on. His one daughter lives in California. All the other family lives over, in India. So there's a lot going on. So now I feel bad that he's going to be cut. But then I have to realize that my sanity is going to like return to like at least 20%, because I'm never going to have 100% sanity. But we will at least be a little there. Also, Olivia, when you mentioned that on the panel, I saw a few people that, like, I see in chats, they say that they like lurk over here. So hi, I know who you are. Hello. You can always chat. It doesn't matter. But I understand if you don't want to chat. He needs to slow down and pronunciate. Well, it's not just pronunciate. He just needs to slow down because he's trying to do everything really fast and everything he does is wrong. I'm not trying to bully the guy, and I'm not trying to, like, be disrespectful or anything like that. But some people get the job, some people don't, and unfortunately, he just didn't get the job. I bet you he's a great dentist. Like, I bet you he has amazing bedside manner, and he makes sure that he's a gentle, in there. But, I just, paperwork and being an assistant is not, it's not for him. Balance will return. And I can't wait for this girl. She's like the interview, I want to hire her like right then and there. Foodie scooty Lee. Now, so I went to go show April. I took a screenshot, right, of like something, girl world related. Nothing bad, like nothing like, about people or anything like that. It was just the title of a live that was coming up that I laughed at. So I took a screenshot of it and I was like, what is in store here? I sent it to my boss and the doctor that I told her I demand kindness. And I was like, oh. Now, thankfully, the iPhones have a new feature where you can delete the message. So I immediately deleted it. I thought, oh my, like, could you imagine if I wasn't able to delete that message? He'd be like, Kim, what the hell's that? What are you doing? Because there was like, it was like a bunch of like lives or, whatever. You know how the feed looks. I was so glad I could delete now. I'm like, holy shit. We had to ask many beautiful people to move on from the shelter. It's hard, but balance is key. Yeah, I mean, listen, sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't. It's awful. And there's like a curse word in the title, and I'm like, oh boy. And then the thumbnail of the other one was wild. I'm like, jeez. He already knows I do like silly stuff, but I just didn't want him to question me about it and then like have to kind of explain what's going on. You know, like I don't want you involved in this. I don't need you seeing what's going on. Like, he doesn't know I have a channel. He knows that my husband and I do like couple questions. We talk about that sort of thing. And that's as far as it goes. Like, you don't need to know anything else. Please don't worry about my extracurricular activities outside of work because I need to blow off steam and watch crazy people on the internet. Please let's not worry about that. Okay? Leave me alone. My free time is my free time. Rally. So, unfortunately, we got Jersey. Edna was around. Edna was doing like the snipies of foodie. Jersey decided she was going to go over and support Edna, which is great because when Edna was around, she did some great commentary. So poor Jersey went over there to support, and she wound up sticking around for a couple of lives. Then she told us that she just can't watch that fat lady anymore. I said, I understand. I get it. I get it. I get it, Jersey. Because most of us don't want to watch her either. And now we're watching Roz. And most of us don't want to watch her either. But we torture ourselves, and here we all are. Here we all are. Except Tater. Tater's the only one that's got common sense. And Ozzy, thank you again. Because the Pinterest was driving me nuts with the pizza things because some were saying like ferment for I know you got to ferment the yeast. I mean, I know the basics, but some were saying like an hour, some were saying 15 minutes until it gets foam. And I'm like, what? You know what? Let's just go to the professional. So I told my husband I'm going to make my attempt at a homemade pizza crust because I make my own Alfredo, but we had the jar and I used some of it and there's still some left. So I'm gonna make him one that has like Alfredo base with some ches and I think I'm gonna pull some mushrooms out, put some mushrooms on there for him. And then I think I'm gonna make a white pizza. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll see how the day goes. Oh, thanks, babes. Thanks, babes. I really hadn't been around. Like, I feel bad because normally I'm like over there with Chronic doing the games. But watching the cats and just Mr. Kazi and everything like that being making sure he's okay. I haven't been around. I did tell Chronic why I wasn't why I haven't been like, around that much. So she understands. But I haven't really been around. Yeah, I think it'll be good. I'm not gonna worry about him. I don't think I'd be down with the Alfredo and all of that stuff. I don't think I'm gonna be down. And I'm just gonna make like little ones. Not personal, but like a little bit bigger so he has something to crunch on before dinner tomorrow. So it'll be a Saturday night thing. Because we're going to Jarella. Did you see here that me and Mr. Kazi are going to the gym right after Caturday? Come here. I worked with a few gentlemen from India when I was head warehouseman. Wonderful people, but Harsh was funny. But Harsh was funny. Too loud. Yeah. I don't have an inside voice either. So I'm not really knocking him for that. I'm just like knocking him because like he's loud writing? Poor guy. Yes, we're going. Ozzy, my little volunteers are having a tea party for the I want to go to a kitty fundraiser. Good luck at the gym. I did mention, like, I made a comment when I think my grandmother probably was worrying about my future, which I probably should have took her up on it because then that's when I wanted to be in radio and I was going to school for radio. And she's like, "Why do you want to do that?" And I'm like, "Because I want to be on the radio." But she said that, and she had a place picked out, like it was a storefront in like a little shopping center, which is really busy now. Um, she's like, "Let's open up a tea room," and I thought, "What the hell's a tea room?" And she said, "No." She's like, "We'll get teas," because she was a tea drinker. She said, "We'll get teas." And she had all these, like, cute little teapots. When you were pulling your stuff out, I was like, "Oh my God, it reminds me of my grandma." So she had all these little teapots. And when my aunt would come over, they would each get their own teapot. The tea bags would be in there, and she'd have, like, her own little tea. And she only used Lipton. And that's before I worked with that doctor I was telling you about, the Persian doctor. And that's when I found out that they have all different teas. And like, Persian tea is like the way better. It's not American tea. Anyway, so she's like, "We'll have tea and coffee." She's like, "And then we'll bake desserts and we'll have like, we'll serve them." She was like you. She had everything. She looked like, she was like coming out of like Martha Stewart, right? And I was probably like 20 when she wanted to do that. And she saw like, my hesitation. I don't know why she didn't do it, but I always thought about that every once in a while. Like, I should have gone in with that because her and I are the bakers. Um, I should have done that. But, woulda, shoulda, coulda. I don't know. I don't even know what she probably had a name for it and didn't, like, I was like, "I don't want to do that." And then she just was like, "Okay, whatever." And thanks for reminding me I have an appointment for my knee next week. And your knee. But it was cute. So when my aunt would come over, there'd be all little, desserts and when you were making the cream puffs, we would get oh, what's it called? They called it something. Um uh it was a cream it was a cream puff tower. A Pifiterol. So it was like cream puffs and they would glue it together with homemade whipped cream and then they would tower it and then they would like just do a chocolate ganache over it. We would do that for birthdays and sometimes just for funsies. We would all come home, we would all go upstairs, put our pajamas on, and then come downstairs and start brewing the tea and put the cream puff tower in the middle and we'd all just sit picking on them. My grandfather would be in the other room and he's like, "What are you girls doing?" We're like, "Don't worry about it." And we sit over there and we'd just be giggling about like TV shows, about this person, that person. We just have our little gossip over, you know, cream puffs. It was the best. We did that a lot. There was an English tea room here for many years. They did high tea and everything. Historic. Victorian home. I got eminent domain and tore what? They tore it down. Oh, the elderlies are tired. It was a beautiful building. I sit there and laugh because we were sitting there. I was like, how you. I mean, we were popping them back. And then when we got to the middle, everybody had their spoons digging in the cream. Oh my word! And they were as thin could be too. They were like 100 pounds. There's a huge modern apartment complex, all square and angles and glass, looking up the whole block now. Our city is growing so fast. There's a housing shortage. Really? Sometimes that scares me. Because the one town they started building up too, where and I'm like, but it used to be so quiet and nice. It was Wanamaker's. I believe that was Wanamaker's. Nico, John Wanamaker's. Did you guys have Wanamaker's? Did you like the department stores? Did you have John Wanamaker? That was my first job in the handbag department, and where I developed my love for Coach bags because those were the ones that were in the glass displays, not the Louis now. Or, I told my grandmother one day, I said, I'm going to own one of those Coach bags one day. And she's like, well, they're good bags. They'll last you forever. Invest in one of those. You never heard of it? So we had Gimbals, we had Wanamaker's, Boscov's, Macy's, of course, everybody knows Macy's, Sears. I don't know how Sears is still around. And to be honest with you, I don't know how Boscov's is. That store is like so junky. Rent's inflated too. Yeah, here you probably to get an apartment with a washer and dryer is probably a one bedroom's probably 1,800 around here now. Yeah, Wanamaker's had the big eagle in it too. Torella. It's a mess up here. It's an absolute mess. You invest in Michael Kors, then sold them to pay for school. All right. There you go. I won't sell my Coach bags. Like my Coach bags are alive and kicking and have been for many, 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 many years. Yes. I know. I can't find my envelope, my leather envelope. It was brown. It was um like that chocolate brown, like not dark brown, not light brown. And then my dragonfly too. I finally retired that because I was using that for work, and I said I'm not letting work beat my dragonfly tote bag. I'll never find it again. I don't know how it came across my feed, but I was like, screw the electric. I'm getting the dragonfly coach. We'll get the electric beat. It might be a week or so late. So I got like the bog bag. Do you guys know what that is? It's like the plastic. It's a Walmart knock me off. Like I saw it and I'm like, this is perfect. I can put everything in there. Retiring bags. I have a whole shelf. They're on display. They're on display. Crammed in chocolate. Yeah, yeah. So I got the bog. It's huge. The blue one. So now let me tell you what my newest option. Aside from PJs, I got the giblets. I'm not one of those girls. I enjoy pendants. I have several pendants and I change out my just a simple chain and I'll just put my pendant on there. I've been wearing my cross for a year. I feel bad when I take it off. But anyway, yes. So now I'm doing the jibs. I'm going on to Amazon. So I found a pack of cats, right? They have there's I don't know, 30 different giblets of cats. And then I found a coffee pack. So I have them on the thing, just like little charms, right? Let me tell you what I've been doing. So I put them on there. And I was walking into Walmart the one day. And I saw a woman and she said her tag said ICU. She had all the pens all over. She was in the scrubs, had the Crocs on. And I said, she was on her phone talking to someone. And I just pulled her. I said, hi. I said, do you like coffee? I said, no, I said, do you like cats? And she looked at me. I said, do you like coffee? And she's like, yeah. Now I thought I had my bag of extras in my bag. And I was like, oh, I was so embarrassed because now I'm going to give her one and I don't have them. So she's like, I love coffee. And she's looking at me like, she's on the phone with this person. She's like, I love coffee. And I said, okay. So I pulled one off my bag and I was like, here, because I saw that she had Crocs on. And you know what a giblet is, right? And she looked at it, she's like, thank you so much. And she just walked on about her day. So I was like, whatever. Now me and Mr. Kazi go out on Thursday. Because what did we have to do, babe? Oh, we have physical therapy. Because the vertigo's a little bit back. So I just hit it off at the pass. I'm like, I'm just gonna go out, I'm gonna see my guy. We're gonna get a fix up. So we go to trivia night because it was Thursday. I'm like, do you want to go? He's like, we'll get something to eat. I said, okay. So we go to trivia night, and the girl there is like the sweetest. She was great then. She was great now. She's like, oh my gosh, you guys came back. We're like, yeah, we're going to do trivia again tonight. So at the end of the night, believe it or not, I was so strung out on Thursday. It is a cute bag. Yes, Jarella, but it's okay because I'm like working on it. It's not as bad as it used to be. So on Thursday, I was so strung out. I asked them for 3 shots of Jack Fire over ice, and I sipped it for hours. Like I sipped it. But when I hit the hard stuff, I was like, I gotta calm down. That's how bad my nerves were because of this guy at work. Um, it was so good too. I mean, I don't need to have it for another few years, but it was so good. So at the end of the night, I asked her, I said, do you like cats? She's like, well, yeah, of course. She's like, I have a dog. I said, all right, then you're not a crazy cat lady. I said, do you like coffee? And she's like, I love coffee. So I pulled another jib off the bag and I gave it to her. And hers was a cup, like an actual coffee, like the cups that you get at like Starbucks, like the cardboard ones. And I said, here. And she read it. She's like, she was so excited. And when like the little saying on it was like coffee because adulting is hard. So I mean, she was like so excited. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I don't know where to put it. She didn't have pockets. She's like, don't judge me if I put it in my bra, but I have to protect it. And I was like, hey, do you, Boo? Like, you put it wherever. I mean, put it in the bank. That's what my grandmother used to call it. She'd have money in her bra all the time, called the bank. So she was so excited that I gave her one of those. I went to the restroom before we left for the night, and when I came out, she was like, "Thank you so much." She's like, "You don't understand how happy that made me." And she's like, "Can I have a hug?" I said, "Okay." I gave her a hug. I'm not a hugger. We all know this. Gave her a hug. Then I go to my husband. She gave him the change. We paid the bill. She gave him the change. And inside the change, she wrapped up a gift card for me. And then on the card, like on the little envelope, it said because adulting is hard. I was like, "What? I gave you something. You didn't have to give me something back." That was so cute. I was like, oh my gosh. So anyway, I got a little gift card because I gave a giblet out. So now I'm addicted to this whole thing. Like now I got to put giblets on my bag, right? Now, thankfully, they're only like you get a bag for $7.99. The next one's going to be like shore related. We're in a shore area, so I won't be giving my starfish or my anchor away, but I'll keep them in my bag. And then I just like like the Taylor Swift bracelets. I'm just going to give a jib out, whatever. Because these bags are like popular, and so are Crocs. I don't think I could get a pair of Crocs, so whatever. We'll see. Every random, random, just a random thing. So anyway, Mr. Cosby's like, it warms my heart that you're doing that. I said, all right, good, because when I pay $7.99 for a bag, you can't yell at me because we're actually giving them away. There are only 2 banks you can trust. It was funny. Snooks was crazy. Snooks was crazy. When my grandfather would give her money, she's like, that's going right in the bank. And it went right in her bra. I'm like, how? Well, listen there, my love. 7.99 to like, make someone smile is worth it in itself. Just one smile. I'm going with it, okay? Just let me live my life. We had there at the bar, there was a team, like a trivia team, because you can take kids to the bar. They just can't drink, obviously, and they're not allowed to sit at the bar. But there was um there was a special needs uh, child at one of the teams. And the guy that was hosting the game, he announced, listen, before we get into, like, I don't know, round two or whatever, I want everybody to give it up for whatever that team's name was. Team Jersey, they were called. And he said, tomorrow or this weekend they're doing, we want to wish them good luck because they're doing their Special Olympics competition, and blah 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 is in the team, and we want to wish them luck and stuff like that. So of course everybody was like rallied around and was cheering and stuff like that. So at the end of the day, like, or when we were leaving, of course Mr. Kazi goes up and he's like, he wants to know who the dad is, right? And he's like, who do I talk to? And the dad is the assistant coach. So Mr. Kazi's like, he shakes his hand and like hands him like a donation, and he's like, do something for the kids, like get them pizza or something like that. That guy was so appreciative. He was like, thank you so much. He's like, no, seriously, thank you. Because it's like he's going around giving people out. I'm giving giblets out, right? I mean, you don't give to, like, like boast. But talking to my husband about buying $7.99 worth of giblets. Kids think they're special with the Shirley. Listen, if I got a Shirley Temple, I think I'm special. Did it go? Oh, they were glued to your boob. Oh my word! I thought it was going to be like, like a slot machine coming out onto the floor. I love a good Shirley Temple. I'll tell you that. You know what it is too with the bras? When we got older and we got the cell phones, I would always put my cell phone in my bra. And they're like, don't do that, you can cause tumors and stuff. And I never, I just, I'd go to the club and that's where my phone would be. I had a really bad habit of doing that. I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. But, you know, where am I at here? Why is it doing this? You freaking stranded. Well, if you put like coins in your bra and you take your bra off, you would imagine it would hit the floor and sound like a slot machine, right? Slot machines don't sound like that anymore. They just give you digital and then paper, whatever. Casinos aren't the same. I wear stretchy bralettes, for tired underwires and hooks and all that mess. See, Darrell, like, I can't do that because then I just have one giant boob, like just a giant mound in the front. So I got my new brows on. I got my 46Cs on. Going to 50 double D to a 46C is, I am so excited about myself, I can't see straight. And I think the girls that are like, well, I'm a 36, C, I'm like, well, that's great. I'll never be a 36C, but I am a 46C. It was attached completely. Oh, that's right. You have aftermarket boobs. That's right. I forgot. Double cherries on the straw, though. Oh, on the straw? I don't know. You know what I did? I made ambrosia last weekend for the guys. Was it last weekend? Yeah, because I think there's still a little bit in there. My brother came over, and it's funny because he's like, "Oh, I've been like, we didn't even talk about it. I've been thinking about it." And I'm like, "I haven't had that in years. I'm gonna make it." So I got all the ingredients, and they've been in the house for a while. And he's like, "I needed the sour cream." He's like, he mentioned it, and I was like, "Are you reading my mind? Because that's what I'm making this weekend." He was like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He ate like a whole I put it back in the Cool Whip container. He ate the whole Cool Whip container in, like, probably one sitting, the craziness. Sports bra, panache. We know words are hard over here. Sport bras are insanely good. They will strap down any situation. What are you guys talking about? Because I'm like not paying attention. S- My thing is not StreamYards is acting a fool. I'm excited to go to the gym because I'm going to do the legs today. I'm going to do the legs. I'm getting a little jiggly down in the legs. And then I'm actually going to weigh myself on a professional scale to see how I did because I've been really bad. I've been doing bad. But you can't eat that much. You can't overeat. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you. Trivia night, right? I was over there in Nikki's chatting and I fell asleep. So I made a comment because we were talking, like, she was doing retros. She had her members live and she was doing like a retro when this big bitch is sitting in her car crying about how, like, and she had the headphones on because, autism and all that stuff. And she's like, it's just to see what she was doing in the beginning and see what she's doing now is completely wild. And I always knew that it was wild. But she's in the car complaining about how, like, she doesn't want to be a part of this community, like, the fifis and the body, the fat acceptance thing. I never understood that because I've always been a big girl. And when I was a kid, I was a big girl, right? Like, I accepted myself. I didn't need others to accept me. I think that's where that whole thing went wrong. Like, love yourself, and then you don't give a shit what other people think about you. Anyway, let's move on because I can go down a whole rabbit hole. I'm watching it, and trivia night, it reminded me that one of the questions was, how many calories does it take to lose 1 pound? And it was like multiple choice or whatever. And I was like, it seems like 3,500. So I hit 3,500. Lilith! Happy Caturday! So you got to burn 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound. And for some reason, I just kept thinking about how she cooks and what she eats. Also, Chantel, what must they like? We see what they're eating, and then just all put it in perspective. Like, my highest calorie day has been 1,400, and I'm not supposed to be there. I'm supposed to be like my thing is 11, whatever. But I went over a few calories because Mr. Kazi took me out for ice cream after our trivia night. And I'm thinking, like, oh my gosh, that is an estimate. It's a window, but that is close for most people. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of calories. Because me and Mr. Kazi are doing that app, and he is really zoned in on his. He's doing great too, but he's like zoned in on his calories. And it does 3,500 calories a day is a lot. And then to burn one, just imagine, like, we see what she's cooking, and you know that she's cooking that abundance, and she eats a lot on camera, and there's a lot left over. You know she's eating a lot, right? You know she's eating everything. That's crazy. Because remember that time I was making the chia pudding? I thought I was being all healthy. I'm like, oh, look at me. I'm doing chia puddings now. I thought it was all fancy. Let's do this. And then I realized that like 4 ounces of it was 500 calories. I damn near died. I said, I'm sitting here trying to be healthy, and that's 500 calories. I didn't know they were calorie dense. You stay between 12 and 13 a day. That's a lot. It is. Rally, she doesn't even walk around in the kitchen. She just slides back and forth, slides back and forth. I mean, she's burning at least 20 calories by using her legs to slide the chair and moving her arms to, put ranch and MSG in her food, but that's a lot. I'm on my phone, so I can't say. I think my calories are. I think they're 1,096 is what they want me to like, shoot for every day. Yes, Jarella. So like, you know, well, I still do. Like, on a stressful day, there's peanut M&Ms in the work. Now, I could eat them every day, but I don't. But, peanut M&Ms calories versus chia seeds. I'm going for the peanut M&Ms on a stress day. And I know you're not supposed to stress eat, but I do. Your pack walks you 6 miles a day. I used to walk 6 miles a day. The inchworm scoot when she slumped sideways across the floor. Darla, she must really drive you nuts with all of your like, your stuff. We got to get the collagen and whatever it is, peptides, whatever he wants, that powder he wants, and it's the Nutricost because he needs to renew his protein. He's out of his protein, so he's got to get that and his collagen for a man too. I never knew that you need to burn 3,500 calories to lose 1 pound. We've seen her down 3,000. Yes, I'm telling you. Even in her drinks, like her protein, like when she was doing the protein stuff, like putting all those like fruits and like fruits all in calories too. It pisses me off when I have my grapes and it just blows out my carbs. I'm like, they're grapes. Come on. But then when I talk to my nutritionist, she's like, yeah, but they're good. It's healthy. It's not like, potato chips. We all know how I feel about my popcorners. They were on sale, so we got my popcorners. We got 2 bags or 2 boxes. And she will ruin any fresh apples. Remember when she smashed all those grapes down and put all that sugar in it and then was telling people that like it was good to like make it? What? What? That looks like something that comes out of the sewer after like 3 days of like heavy rain. Get the frig out of here. You think she eats 10,000 calories a day? You think? I mean, is it because I watch those like professional eaters, like I watch Beard Meets Food and Katina Kilos or whatever her name is. I watch them every once in a while. And sometimes they'll have like the 10,000 calorie like challenge and they eat like like they do the challenge before they start like doing the professional eating. I don't know how they all eat like that. But I mean, even before weight loss surgery, I could never eat the things that they did. That's a lot of calories. They're like eating 2 dozen donuts. But she probably could eat 2,000, two dozen donuts. To maintain her weight and gain it must be over 6K. She ate a tray of her. Listen, like my fat heart would want to eat the whole tray, but then I'd be sick of it. And then I'd have to, leave some for the next few days. Maintaining weight means she doesn't put down the spoon. I'm sorry that I'm giggling about it because ultimately, there's some people that just don't care. Like I think Chris said it that like she doesn't care about the outcome. She's just for the instant gratification, and that's true. You get that dopamine hit. I do when I get, especially if it's gummy bears. We all know that that's my trigger food. Um And I gave the bag away. I only had a few, and I gave the bag to my brother. But to think like that, like, dude, you're becoming bedridden. Like, you're literally on the path to being bedridden. If you eat for 5, aren't active, don't mention money, don't dare. What do you mean the money? Like, how does she like, that's what she's spending her money on. That's an expense. Listen, I purposely do things in the like, when I make my shopping list, I purposely map out, like, well, I mean, I know my store. So on my shopping list, you'd get dumped in produce. As soon as you walk in, you're dumped in the produce section. So everything I need in produce, I have on my list, and then I know the aisles. So, like, I know, where to go for what I need. And I put it in the cart and on the belt a certain way because I'm trying to figure out how much am I spending on produce, right? Because I put my produce and then I put my meats because that's where I have to, that's like my main thing. Like, we're trying to eat healthy. So I want to see, like, where are we spending all of this money? So I put all of that, in order on the belt, and then it goes in bags. Like, I have this whole, like, it's my crazy. It's like crazy how I, like, want things on the belt. And so I got my produce, right? And Mr. Kazi tells me he says cherries, watermelon, or peaches surprise me. The watermelon was on sale, and it was a real nice looking watermelon. When I went by it, I said, well, we're getting that. And then the cherries were very reasonable. And then I just got him a couple of peaches, right? Like, it wasn't like I got him 3 peaches, and they're real ripe. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to get him everything, like, snack on the fruits. So I got that. I got peppers. He wants he wants mashed sweet potatoes. So I got 2 of those. I got some sweet onions. What else did I get in the produce? Bananas. So after that, like, when I got to the belt, I'm trying to think, did I get anything else in produce? Because it was the 2 potatoes, 3 onions. I got a pack of, like, the tricolor peppers. There was a 6 pack, so I grabbed those. Bananas, peaches, watermelon, cherries. Oh, I got blueberries because, my oats. $47 for just the produce. And then they have, like, a really, really good deal on T-bone steaks, like a pound, like, it's a T-bone with the bone in. Like, each one was just over a pound, just a tiny bit over. I think the heaviest one I got was 1.27 pounds. I didn't pay no more than 16.50. So I got 4 of them because I'm like, these are on sale. If when they're not on sale, they're going to be over $20. I might as well get some now that they're on sale. I thought that that was a great buy. So I knew that that was, like, that was going to be pricey. But after all was said and done, my dairy and, like, I needed my yogurts and my cottage cheese. It was like 100. It was $149 and, like, 98 cents or something like that. It was, like, very rare, very under 150. And I'm like, what the frig? That's a lot of money. And most of it. Bye, Jenny. Sweet dreams. I'm not doing sausage. And then after I thought about it, Mr. Kazi had like a chicken fajita, like, wrap at trivia. And that's what I was thinking. Like, I'll do, like, chicken fajitas. And then I'm like, oh, darn. He just had it. So I don't know if he's going to want the chicken fajita. But I only have to cook for a couple of days because Thursday and Friday we're going to be out. What time should we be over? Good for you. I've been vegan for years. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind buying the produce. I was just like, geez Louise, like, that's kind of pricey. I mean, but then again, it's not really, you know. I mean, it is what it is. My gas went down like 60 cents a gallon. So, and there's that. So maybe, like, the prices in the grocery will come down because the truckers aren't using as much gas. So, you know, that's that. I don't know how the hell to make sweet potato mash. I don't know how to do that. What do I do? Just peel them, cut them like regular potatoes, and then, like, mash them up? Because I don't eat sweet potatoes. I don't eat them. He wants, like, his little meatloaves and that kind of thing. So he wants that. Do you do sweet potatoes, Ocean? Can you help me? Oh, guess who's here? Psst. Come here, baby. show everybody you're not blowing bubbles. Oh, no, 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 no. All right. She's a little tiny bit congested. Wait, no, 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 no. New pajamas, new pajamas. They're new pajamas. Okay. Show everybody that you're not congested. Show everybody proof of life. Proof of life. All right. You can go if you want. Slobbered on me. Don't be showing your butt. Find YouTube video. Yeah, I guess I could do that. I don't like the sweet potatoes. I should get one of those electric peelers. Bzz. Like how if you have like autism or sensory overload, I do know what that's like. I do know what that's like. And I know what pain flares up are because I have friggin' arthritis in my wrist. I understand that, but I ain't bitching about it, right? Why are you using a vibrating peeler? You like what? I can't stand her. I don't know why I'm getting involved in the whole thing. My pain. Cats to no one. Here's my butthole. Exactly. Exactly. She's off. Mr. Kazi's walking around downstairs. And I'm telling you, the new food that I bought them, the lamb and egg, they're tearing it up. I don't know if it's because they've never had anything like that in their life because I've always bought the chicken, but we're getting less puke and she's got the fiber. So we're getting firmer stools. She's still missing a box. Hopefully that changes. Aren't my fave sadly. No, I don't like them. I don't like maybe because I just think that like potatoes are supposed to be like potato and then you put that sweet in it. No. Yeah, we're not doing chicken anymore. This is what I'm saying, Drew. Well, how the hell am I gonna like fix that if she associates it with being sick? How am I gonna fix that? Like pick her up and throw her in there and then she's gonna be oh my gosh. She's never done this until she had like she got sick. Like none of my cats have ever I mean like, hairballs and stuff like that they get or if they puke, every once in a while they like, they puke, but never ever have I had a cat not use the box. Relook, I can't. Like I don't have any place to put the little robot. It's got to stay in that corner. I have a little tiny downstairs. I don't know. So it's different. What do you need encouragement for? Oh, to like go to vegan? Is that what you want to do, Barely? You want to do the vegan? Ocean is a gem. That might help the puppy pads. This friggin' cat is costing us $1,000,000,000.2. I mean, we'll pay it. But produce is up, Harley. Can we keep that in mind? Can you be considerate, please? We'll figure it out. I mean, I took the rug up, so it's not on the rug. It's on hardwood floors. It's easy to clean up. But still, fix the tab slow in your browser. What? We're not. We're just sitting here like this. Yeah, I imagine that it's different now, though, the vegan stuff. I imagine that they're like, they've come up with listen, I've had a vegan muffin, right? I mean, it's not for me. I need full fat. Okay. This is why we're in the situation we're in. But I need the butter. But I do know that it is my girlfriend is a bodybuilder, like a professional bodybuilder. She's like doing shows and winning awards now. She used to do my hair. She was a stylist. She's vegan and plant-based and building muscle, so I mean, it's not bad for you. 800, is that how much it's cost us so far? $877 for the nose bubbles? You don't let me see bills, so I don't know. We need to butter them biscuits. Maybe it's different now. I don't know. I don't know. Hi, Zion. So the hype is after it's after the live ends. Thank you for wanting to hype it. Maybe all the vegan stuff is. I don't know. I don't go near it, right? I mean, I just told you that I bought 4 T-bones, you know? I like, you see the things and then you feel guilty, but I I am, I don't I think it's great that people can, just do the vegan stuff. I mean, Ocean hates eggs, so that's part of the thing. We're using a dozen eggs a week. When you make the mashed sweet potatoes, put cinnamon and butter in ours. No milk needed. Just cook just like regular potatoes or bake them cut in half on a baking sheet. Way better. So I saw that that's like a TikTok thing that came over to YouTube where people were slicing them in like long ways in half and cooking them that way. So, all right, I'll bake them because I got to heat the oven for the pizza anyway. And I know that they cook for a while. So maybe I'll do that. Oh God, the oven's going to be on for forever this weekend. She steals tea bags and poisons herself. Yikers. Yikers. You've been doing that way for 10 years. I trust you. I trust you with the sweet tater. Well, your name's Tater for crying out loud. Of course I trust you with the taters. What time should we be over? Yes, we're doing a couple questions tonight. He's got a mystery story that I have to read up on. I'm probably when I'm at the gym going to be listening to like whatever because it's one thing that we all know about, but we don't know the backstory. So he's excited about it. I was going to throw out an idea to him and like I completely forgot about like because I was demanding kindness this week. So I forgot to tell him what I was thinking. Trader Joe's tea bag. Oh no. No more Trader Joe's tea. Trader Joe's, we went there to stock up on our tuna. We were running low. They sell bear bells for $2.50. Any other store is damn near $4. So Miss Kazi's like, grab them. I said, all right, I'm getting 10 of them. So because I keep them for the month. Like I'm like, I just throw one in my bag just in case. Hopefully, I'll be around. I have to clean today because oh, yeah, you got the Father's Day. See, like, we don't do the Father's Day. They might reverse the kindness on you. Well, I do have a doctor on Monday that doesn't like me. She's back to not liking me. Whatever, dude. No, like, do you? I'm up at the front. All right. You just do you. You come up, you tell me something, whatever. You're not going to be around longer anyway. We spend $250 a week at the supermarket. I'm not going anywhere else. 250. When I have to stock up on like, the pantry and like all of that stuff. No, I don't think I've ever spent 250. I don't think we've ever spent 250. I mean, if you count the protein powders that we're ordering, then yeah, it does add up. It's Father's Day tomorrow. That's correct, Mundo. I might actually fire up the grill this week to do my steak. I might do that. I told you I bought the filet mignons because they were on sale. Like, sometimes you can find good steaks on sale. And when you see filet mignon on sale, then you grab that. So I made those because they're smaller. I made both of them for the week. They were like medium rare. They were like more on the rare side. It was good. I prefer it to be a little bit more cooked, just a teeny tiny bit more cooked, but it was very good. So, yes, there's realness. They had a lot of stuff going on this week. They had a lot of stuff going on. I was like, darn, since Saturday, they've been doing all kinds of things, all kinds of outings and, like, outfits. I don't have parents, just in laws. You put up with the Hallmark holidays? I mean, I take my mom out for dinner. She's not one of those, like, look at me types. Well, I mean, yeah, she is. But I just take her to, like, and I always take her the Saturday before Mother's Day because she can't stand the crowds either. So we do align in that, and we don't go to church on Mother's Day or Father's Day because, and even my pastor says, oh, look at everybody here. It's like, the kids are coming out to, support mom and dad. And it's true. It's true. And then you go out to breakfast and there's like 1,000 people. So, that is what it is. But we won't go to church tomorrow. Next week we start physically going back to church. And I'm very excited. So is Mr. Kazi because we need to like actually go into the church. Go in. Yeah, you know why, Jarella? Because like even Easter because his aunt can't join us on Sunday, Easter Sunday. She's like, she's in church because and everybody knows I'm not doxing, but his aunt is a nun. So she's in church all day Sunday. So we'll do it on Saturday. It's the best thing ever because they have to like host, do all the running around, make sure everything's out clean, da 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 da, all of that. So on Saturday, I'm like, this is great because then I have actual Easter to like, rest. I love doing those things on Saturday. It's so much easier. Wait, what did you say? You never celebrated it, even though I was a single father to my daughter. I told her to celebrate it with her hubby. Oh, Jersey. Yeah, they had to go out for Mother's Day on the day because the year before was. Couldn't find anywhere to eat. It is a mess. Yo, Brad, you here? No, hi, Andre. Good morning. Um, no, I haven't seen Brad. I haven't seen Brad. I saw Brad in Ozzy's. We were talking over there. He's out there doing all kinds of stuff. You see what he's doing out there cutting those trees? Hanging from things, swinging from things. He's out there living his best life, not on the road. He is definitely keeping busy. I Did you guys see the short where he climbed the tree on the ladder and it kind of fell? Like it fell a little bit and he had it like a chainsaw in his hand. I panicked. Like literally I had like a little bit of anxiety and I'm like, no, he's really still gonna climb this tree and use this friggin' chainsaw. What the hell is wrong with him? Oh my god, he was. Oh, really? Thank you so much for cat care. Hardly. You got people putting it towards the bill. Don't get sick again, because that's not who we are over here. But thank you so much for your generosity. I appreciate it. I saw his building and LOL'd. Yeah, sometimes Brad makes me a little nervous. Don't tell him I said that. But sometimes the things I'm seeing on his shorts, I'm like, Brad, what are you doing? You're making me a little nervous. Totally making me nervous. But I love that he's out there doing stuff. Like he's out of the truck and he's like moving and grooving and he's like, doing physical stuff and he's like, putting on the thing, exercising. He like puts out some really good stuff. He cracks me up. But seeing that, like with that ladder move and him on a chainsaw, I really did have anxiety. I was like, no, he's not going to do that. He made the bull riding barrel. I know, yeah, I know. He had to like, he's building the pool. He did that in like how many days? Well, we don't know because he edited it, but I swear he probably did it in 2 days, knowing him. Is it a good beach day? Well, we're going to the gym, and then we got to come back and we got to cook. And I decided I'm going to make homemade pizza. So there's that, because I want to make sure that tomorrow. Oh crap! I forgot to put my clothes in the washer before we got started here. Falling from a tree, it's dangerous. I don't know. He just, but then you saw the pile of wood, and knowing him, he's going to start chopping it up and using it as firewood, right? Like, can we all take a bet on that? Should we do a poll? Should we do a poll in honor of Brad? I'm enjoying my yearly beach trip with everyone. Had to come say hello. Well, you better get back on that beach under the umbrella. Sunscreen. He's out there singing Billy Idol. I wasn't gonna tell him that I was making a pizza because this is the first time I'm doing the dough by myself. Because usually I tell him go pick up some dough from around the corner because there's really good. The pizza place has really good like dough, and then I just use that. I shouldn't have told him that because now I'm all stressed out. Now I'm under pressure. I enjoy all of his videos too. Jersey, be nice. You and Mr. Kazi, smart asses, and Brad's usually a smart ass too. Um, so once we get into the Royals, then we're wrapping things up. This is Mr. Kazi's channel. He is in charge. He told me that he accepts suggestions, but ultimately it's his decision. I'm involved, but not involved. I'm just the one that's being surprised on these, like, adventures, which, I mean, how can I complain about that, right? I'm trying to make girls, weekend. Brad would be excited to hear that. I'm trying to make, the girls' weekend with my cousins. And he's like, you can't make plans for the summer because he's already got a trip planned. He's like, I don't want to tell you when we're going. It's a surprise. And I'm like, but I want to go out with my cousins. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and thank you. Thank you. Thank you for subbing up. So I said, Ari, I'm just going to let you do this. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Because if I plan it for the weekends and then he tells me that I can't go, then I know when we're going. And then it spoils his surprise. And to be honest with you, he's worth it, right? We'll be okay. Mr. Kazi, mozzarella chicken, bacon ranch pizza. Yum. Well, I do have chicken. I can make that. I can make that tater. With the white sauce. I could make that. I think I heard the chair come out from the table. He might be looking to see if the bacon's like thawed out. Babe, I know you're listening. So if there's bacon there's bacon's not out of the freezer, you can pull it out. That takes like, no time to thaw out. Ranch sauce. Well, he wants to use the Alfredo. So, and he's, we'll figure out. That does sound good though. I was going to pull mushrooms out. He asked for spinach, sweet mashed potatoes, and like, little meatloaves that I make them. So, I mean, But okay, let's get into the Royals because they had quite an eventful week. And when we say we're getting into the Royals, we know we're just talking about Princess Catherine, right? Um, I heard them. I'm listening. The refrigerator just closed. I hope he did pull the bacon out, and your idea was good because he's not a big leftover chicken fan. So if he has it on pizza, I think he'll be okay. He'll be fine. I have Ozzy's, Ozzy? I made I don't know if it's Greek. You know the chicken that you told me to marinate in yogurt and all that, like all the spices and stuff like that? I have some of that, and I had to get a cucumber because I'm gonna make tzatziki today, so I can make like a wrap. My chicken and tzatziki wrap. That's what I'm looking forward to. Yes, happy Father's Day to all the dads. To all the dads. Even if you're a pet dad. And Jersey, don't be pulling that bullshit. If you're a dad, then you're happy Father's Day to you. All right, let's get into this. So I'm gonna close that. That's like we're not talking about that. So the first thing was did we talk about the garden party? Because they had the first garden party of this season. Share the screen. Just got to see how Catherine looks. I believe they invite 1,000 guests for the garden party. The Prince and Princess of Wales dressed up, including a top hat for him, for a royal tradition dating back to the 1860s. So there she is, looking stunning. They welcomed thousands of people to Buckingham Palace for the garden party. The Prince and Princess of Wales were joined by Zara Tindall, Prince Edward, and Sophie at the event. King Charles and the palace invite people from all walks of life to the palace for the annual celebrations over tea and sandwiches each spring. So there our girl is. She had a little polka dot thing. I wish that this banner didn't come up. They get on my nerves, this people. Uh Now they did find a picture of her. Did he pull it out, Tater? Did he tell me to pull the bacon out? I heard this as soon as you said it, Tater. I heard the chair, and then I heard the refrigerator close. Good call, Tater. I'll take a picture and put it on the post on the tab. Um, they found a picture of Kate and Diana wearing the same outfit. Now they were, Megan was trying to like replicate Diana there for a while on purpose. But let's face it. I mean, colors and suits and stuff like that, Diana had like, so they're always going to do that. But I do think that Kate did look, well, she looked way more sophisticated and way more like Diana than the other ones. So they attended the party. Um, the couple last attended a garden party in May 2025 due to the princess Catherine's cancer diagnosis and treatment, which kept her out of the public eye for most of 2024. So there they are coming out of. What do you want? You're gonna. Yes, stop pulling me, okay? So that's when he comes out in his top hat. I just love them. I just love them. Love them. So she looks beautiful. And they walk around and they greet people. But what I found out is that, or maybe we talked about this before, they invite these people to, the garden party, but they're given cards and the names of who they're actually going to meet, so that they have like a little summary, like this person owns like, a bakery, or this person works at like the textile, whatever. So they have like they're purposely, they people are randomly chosen, but they're given a like a little thing for them to make sure. And this was May 8th. This is old news, Kim. We're in June. Anyway, we didn't talk about the garden party. So look at them. They're so cute. So this is the line of people that they were told that they're going to talk to, and they have like a little summary on who they are. They're just adorable. Okay. All right. This week for sure. I promise this week for sure was Trooping of the Colors. If you don't know what Trooping of the Colors is, it's the official, non-official celebration of the king's birthday. That hat kills me. The top hat. Well, I mean, you know. Okay, Harley, your dad's right. We do have to clip your nails, but I do not want you putting holes in my new pajamas, okay? We're very excited about the pajama set. They're corny, but I love them. So this is them on the balcony. It was, you know, it's the official, unofficial king's birthday. Or the queen, like she had it too. Uh Today, thousands lined the streets around Whitehall to celebrate King Charles' official birthday with the annual Trooping of the Colors parade. Joining His Majesty for his official birthday were family members, including his sister, Princess Anne, her husband, Vice Admiral Sir Timothy Lawrence, Prince William and his family, Catherine, Princess of Wales, and their 3 children, Prince George, Charlotte, and Louis. Now they put on this whole, we don't want to see fingernails. We want to see Kate. Look at that. That's because we were talking about Roz and belly fat. Look at how old, but look at how grown George is getting. And of course, Louis was like, you know, he was putting on a show himself. Mr. His hygiene. I know. He got caught on camera being silly. This was funny because like they caught George sneezing and they made a big deal out of it, not because he sneezed, but because this took like this news story overshadowed the idiot and his wife. And they were excited because usually during this time, if there's like a royal event, they'll leak like a story, Harry and Meghan. But this one actually, him sneezing took the headlines. And of course, Louis. Did they show Lily? I mean, Louis. I'm thinking about Meghan. Look at that hat. She's so pretty. Where's the little thing of him? They didn't show the video. We can show the video. Uh, Here we go. It's 38 seconds. Let's watch. No, it goes to Facebook and then I dox myself because information comes up. What the frig? Okay, this is YouTube. I'm like, I did that once and I immediately privated the stream because I realized that and I was on when I realized what I was doing and I said, "Oh no." I didn't panic. I didn't panic under pressure, but as soon as I got off live, I quickly took it off. I said, "Oh shit." All right. I'm going to stop sharing that. Let's look at Louis. Out of here. He gets so excited. He's just cute because he's not poised. Like he's not poised with like Brad, we've been talking about you almost for the last 45 minutes. Um he's not poised like the other two are. He's just kind of like, just animated and silly and all that. And I love that because it's real, like it's just real. He's so cute. Alex gets a big star. I don't have a pair of pajamas without a hole in from the kitties. Listen, like I told you with this. Well, there's another thing with the princess. I bought a pair of pants because I was just the pajama pant girl, and then I wore t-shirts, and then these sets were like the same amount of money, and I'm like, well, I'm getting a shirt to sleep in, like that makes sense. So I'm like, this is my new thing, that and the giblets. So I put the pants on. Thank you, Brad. Shut, Luke. So I put the pants on and I'm doing my thing. And the next thing you know, I look down and there's a hole in my pants. I didn't do anything. I was like, what the frick? So I got a new pair of pants that have a hole in it. I'm like, what else? And it's low enough that if I have to cut them in the shorts, we'll cut them in the shorts. And they were cheap enough, but that just pissed me off. Like I had one wear and I got a hole. And the cats weren't around me because she was sick. She was hiding. Hello, Luke. What's going on, Luke? Luke, I ain't over there in DC until they stop talking about Michelle. I'm not doing it. I ain't going anywhere near there. I don't care. I say hello. I pop in and I'm like, hey, and this is why I'm not here. And everybody understands. I can't deal with it. And they're talking about the dog again. I said, no, not doing it. Not doing it. All right, Catherine. All right, we just watched that. That's the trooping. And then they had the Ascot. Do you guys know what the Ascot is? So you know. It's an annual event. It's the Royal Ascots. I'm gonna buy Michelle. Just tell me if Benson got a hold of him. Mr. Kazi licked his finger and he went to rub the like he thought it was like a stain or something. And it was funny because I thought in my grandfather's story when he did it, I didn't say anything at the time, but he like licked his finger and he like went over the mark because he thought it was a mark. He's like, wait, that's a hole. I said, yeah, why are you looking at it? It was funny. I didn't mention the lick, but I did notice that he did that. Made me look to see if I hit. Oh, thanks, Rally. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We just like dilly-dally over here. All right, so this is the Ascot. The Ascot is basically like the Kentucky Derby. It's like the Kentucky Derby that we have. Do it this way. What happened? Hold on. Remove. Stop sharing. Let's share again. Can you see? All right, it came up. Kate Middleton is a ray of sunshine in vibrant yellow at the Royal Ascot 2026. So here's the Luke that she was serving. And they're making fun of her, her hat because it had lace on top. Look, she can wear whatever the hell she wants, and she's still gonna serve. This day, which is a huge day for the Royals, like they own horses that are in this race. And because the Royals, they're like, it's the dogs and the horses for them. So it's a big event. Like this is a big event, just like the trooping and all of that stuff. These assholes over here in America, Harry and Meghan, decided that was the day that they were going to announce, even though she didn't want to come back, They wanted to announce that Megan and the children are going to come to back to the UK for his Invictus Games because they're being held in Birmingham. I thought they said 2027, but they're talking about something this year. They're coming this summer or whatever. Nobody wants her. Like all of the channels that I follow for the British or for the royals, none of the people want her here. Lilith was here earlier. You're not a fan of the yellow dress. It seems too much yellow or too bright. Oh, I think she looks fantastic. Jersey, look at her. She wore this dress 3 times in Birmingham. This is like the 3rd time she's worn this outfit. I think she looks great. And then William over there, they cut him off. Poor guy. He had the yellow flower to match her. I don't know who you are, dude. Walking the track. They come in carriage, like and they have like the Royal Ascot, procession. So they let you know what carriage is what carriage. And hi, Lucky. So they were in like the carriage that's who was in the carriage on the invitation. It said it was King Charles and Queen Camilla. Oh, I'll just call her Camilla. But the other people that were in the carriage were not who was on the card. It was Kate's parents. The Middletons were in there. I love tradition. The princess should never wear an outfit more than once. It's just not classic. Luke, the whole point of her recycling outfits is because she's down to earth. Like she's making it like, you know, relatable. Even Charlotte is now starting to recycle. It's a couple of years before, she wears it again. I love that she recycles outfits. But you're entitled to your opinion. See, the hat is what everybody's like making fun of. It's like the Kentucky Derby over there. So the more whimsical the hat, the better because of the event. Like, get a grip. You see what the Kentucky Derby girls wear. That's right. You know about class. I bet you do. It does look like when you buy lemons and they come in that in that bag. But she looks great. She looks great. It's whimsical. Look, you want to go in a timeout, Luke? I will boom your ass right to the corner. Just kidding. I think she looks great. Now, this is her recycled. This was in 2022. Get off the banner, please. So she wore the outfit in 2022. And then at Wimbledon, it doesn't say. Oh, the same year. July of the same year. So 2022 is the last time she wore this. She wore the outfit. I think she looks stunning. I absolutely think she looks stunning. So kiss my grits, Luke. Okay. All right. We'll get some. We'll do the Instagrams. We'll look at the Instagrams. Early childhood. It is vital to preserve the spirit of childhood alongside healthy development. Childhood is the foundational in developing a healthy balance between mind, body, and spirit. But children are not simply learners of information. They don't analyze joy, but live it. They don't intellectualize connection, but embody it. They experience the world through feeling, through love. That was her little celebration. I think this is when she was in Italy. I'm pretty sure. She loves the kids. The Apricot Center is demonstrating a sustainable food production can go hand in hand with supporting mental health, education, and community resilience. So he's out there doing this. He's on this homeless and food thing. There's the there's the footage of the whatchamacallit, the ascot. You're from North. You should say kiss my cream of wheat. We don't really do cream of wheat up here. It's more oatmeal. Anyway, I heard this one story. See, there's the horses. There's the horses and the trophies. Prince Charles' horse was winning, and then it fell behind and came in second, and he was devastated. He's pushing for, yes. So he's going into communities. He's going to donate like a very, very large sum. I think they said 500 million pounds. I don't know. A large sum of money to help build houses for the homeless. But here's the thing that I just heard, because I listened to this Lauren the Insider, and I hope that this is not true because I don't like this. I don't like this. I get the idea behind it, but I think that it's very intrusive. Um, because who are you not watching? Let's face it, they're all watching. They're all watching our bank accounts. Like, you get your bank and they think that there's fraud, they'll call you, right? You know what I mean? Like, they'll stop a charge and like stop your card, and you're like, well, because that happened to me. Somebody like was trying to like buy. I went to 7-Eleven, couldn't buy my freaking $1.79 coffee. This was years ago because someone was over there in California trying to buy shit. I was like, well, thank you for stopping my card. I am in New Jersey trying to buy a cup of coffee. My 7-Eleven guys go, and they're like, just it's on us. Anyway, um, Prince William has been said to combat homelessness, or, like a lot of the homelessness that's going on over there in the UK. He suggests that people watch bank accounts and spending habits to see, like, to put you on the right track. Like, say you go out to eat every single day and you're spending hundreds of dollars, like putting DoorDash on Klarna. Um, he wants to like keep an eye on bank accounts so that if like, like you'd have an advisor to call you. I don't think that that's I don't like that idea because that's intrusive. I get the point behind it, and I get if you're one of those that is benefiting from a home that's being built, right? I get that you would, like help them navigate finances and stuff like that. But I don't think everybody's bank account should be watched. I don't. I don't. But again, we have it here because they like call us with fraud. Lilith, use that rack on the bag of. Wait, what did you get? Because I'm allergic to cilantro. With cilantro butter, meld it over. Just how you like. You are most welcome. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying, really? Like, why don't call me and tell me that, like, I'm not allowed to buy giblets. I'm giving them out for joy. Okay? Just don't pay attention to what I'm doing. I mean, I don't like, me and Mr. Kazi have a rule. If we spend over $100, we have to tell one another. But like I told him today, I'm gonna buy a bag of giblets for $7.99. You got to get something from Amazon. I'm gonna add something for myself, and it's not just for myself. Start a GoFundMe to raise bail money. Why is Brad going to jail? Brad, why are you going to jail? I think you're going to need an ER. I'm not putting that on you. Please don't go to the ER. But don't be climbing trees on ladders that are not fixed properly, please. Can you, like, you kind of have like the Caturday crew here that kind of care about you. All right. Let's not, no, let's not, or at least don't show us your shenanigans because we were all very worried. Oh, why are you going to jail, Lilith? What the hell did you do? Oh, because you hate popcorn and cilantro. I don't know. I mean, I like the popcorners, and that's just, popcorners is where it's at because they don't have the kernels to get caught in your gums. Chainsaw juggling. Ah, that made me nervous. That was very, very, very nervous. So anyway, back to the Royals. These assholes over there. They said that they're bringing Megan and the children. So are we going to get our first sighting of the children? And like, they're not royals. I can't wait for William to strip them of the crown, like, or of the titles, because their poor kids are not being raised. Like Louis out there, and he's like, he's in shenanigans and being a ham, like in front of people, and everybody eats it up. But he is being, he's being brought up to be a royal, you know. Like George and Charlotte are, proper and all of that, and have, the etiquette. These kids over here in America, they're being Americanized. Wanted to pop in. I love that yellow dress on Kelly. Yes, Lilith. Luke is over there saying, or who said, Jersey said that. Is Jersey the one that said they didn't like the yellow? Oh, one of them did. Uh, Kimmy, Kate, and William also support a group called Dots Dogs on the Street. It's to help the homeless who have animals as companions for checkups, shots, and care. Aw, he is a waste, and you'll go into timeout. You and Luke will get along just fine. Okay? You're both smartasses. So there's that. Um Rally is our well, I don't want to say if she doesn't want to. I don't know how many people know, but Rally is a very, very big animal advocate. She went and rescued. How many puppies was rescued from that puppy mill? Was it like 14 little pit bulls that you rescued? Because that was an amazing thing. And it was probably very hard for your emotions, but you still did it, and that was amazing. You say it. 41? I got the numbers mixed up. 41 puppies she went over there and rescued from a puppy mill. So Rayleigh is our animal. We all love animals here. Obviously, it's Caturday. But Rally's over there out there in putting boots on the ground doing it. We just wiener dog. You just got wiener dogs? 25. Oh, God bless you, Allie. God bless you. God bless you. I know, Jarella. All the hearts. The not to like this isn't like doxing or like, sharing too much. But the girl that I hired, she volunteered all of this information. I didn't ask anything. But she did come over in a sweater and it had little wiener dogs all over it. It was a nice sweater. It wasn't tacky. It was cute. It was like something that you would probably find at like what's that store? Like a fancy, like, one of those fancy stores. So it was cute, right? So I'm like, okay, she's a dog lover, whatever. Well, then she told me that like a month ago her cat died. She told me the backstory of the cat, and the cat was older, and it did she say she had, I think she had cancer or something like that. And they were keeping it alive. They were doing everything that they could, and then it was, at some point you have to say goodbye. She's like, I was like, oh my God, I'm a crazy cat lady. She's like, it's okay because I can talk about her now without crying. She's like, and we just got two puppies. They're wiener dogs. And then the shirt made sense. She said they're puppies and they're a lot of work. And I was like, oh, that's really cute. So, you know, your broken heart has to stay filled. Yes, the animals definitely. There's unconditional love. So the girl I work with, I'm sure I'm going to see tons and tons of pictures of the little wiener dogs. And I'm going to tell her, I'm like, I know somebody that just rescued 25 wiener dogs. But that's awesome because you're always out there rescuing. And it's like, we need more people like you, Rally. I don't know if I could do it. My girlfriend works at a shelter. I got in touch with her when they were sick. And I was like, I can't imagine. Because that runs rampant. That sickness runs rampant through the shelter. I can't imagine working with like the sick animals, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I could not be a. I know that I can't be a nurse. I got through, and I was a trooper with Mr. Kazi, but I am not like in the nurse kind. I don't. I know that I can't. I love and I care and I have empathy, but I know that I couldn't. I couldn't do it or work at a vet or at a shelter. Like, that's heartbreaking. That's absolutely heartbreaking. And I refuse to go on Facebook because I just went on our page because they're doing something in the community for 4th of July, and I'm like keeping my eye on it. And some asshole put up there that they have to get rid of two cats because they can't move with them. I'm not moving if the cats can't come with me. I'll live under that damn bridge before I give my animals up. And I think that that's disgusting. And no. Mm-mm. And if something were to happen to me in an emergency situation, I know my mother would temporarily hold my cats and she would take just as good a care of my cats as I would. But that would be it. Hate it. You left Facebook in 2003 and never went back. Good for you. Northern Idaho. Well, just about all of Idaho is beautiful. You have a place. You're guided by light. Thank you. I am. I am guided by faith and light. I am definitely guided by faith. Me and me and Jesus were God comes first, then Mr. Kazi, and the same thing with him. God comes first, and then it's me. Put him first. Anyway, I have to go to the gym, and I feel as though I've been hanging out with you guys a little bit longer than normal. It wasn't I was given a time limit, and I'm going to get in trouble if I like hang longer. But Mr. Kazi's like, can we get done like around this time or this time, like between here and here? And I just feel like jabbing and, I feel like, jabbing. But I have to get back on the horse. I got to get back to the gym. I'm going to do the legs today. I'm going to weigh myself, do the legs, and then come home and attempt my first homemade pizza. By that time, the chicken and the bacon will be thawed, and we're going to do Tater's idea. God bless you. We will see you tonight. A couple of questions. Again, we're going to talk about someone that it's a mystery, but you all know what we're going to be talking about. It's just apparently Mr. Kazi told me there's a huge mystery behind it. So get after it. I'm getting after it. You guys have a great Saturday. Don't get into too many shenanigans. I will see you tonight at 7 o'clock over there on the couple questions. And thank you so much for everybody's support. I love you guys for hanging out with me. And I will talk to you soon. Have a